This is a book bull summary of the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Since we were young, we have been handed over blueprints and techniques for everything, from excelling at academic courses to landing a high-paying job. But we hardly had any layouts for self-improvement, or to do better in social aspects of our lives. Dale Carnegie's classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, offers timeless wisdom on building better personal and professional relationships, making people like you, and winning people over to your way of thinking without resentment. In this video, you will discover 7 simple concrete techniques to help you be comfortable in social situations. Number 1. Praise. Avoid criticism. Remember how we criticized Al Capone, the infamous American gangster, and tagged him as a hunted man? But Al Capone thought of himself as only good. In that context, we all are similar to Al Capone. We humans criticize others, but struggle to blame ourselves or even take constructive criticisms. Instead, we naturally get defensive and try to justify our behaviour, despite knowing the critic's intention, and that's human behaviour. It does not mean you don't have to be honest and tell others about the required changes. Dale Carnegie suggests a perfect solution. The opposite of criticism, praise and applaud. One can achieve far more by encouraging and praising people rather than criticizing them. Praise inspires us to work harder and better, making our relationships much warmer. Number 2. Remember, a person's name is to that person the most important sound in any language. If you have a dog or have snuggled with one, you know that nothing can replace the affection of your cute, furry friend. Your dog has a trick for you to ease into a good relationship with your new acquaintance. So, what's the human equivalent of canine affection? Let's be honest, we humans hardly enjoy a stranger constantly talking about their lives, success, or problems, yet we all like to be cared for. So the quick way is to show interest in them like your furry friend does with you. Do that by showing interest in them from the start. Remember their name, be polite in tone, smile, and direct gestures. A real smile can turn someone's day around. A simple smile makes you feel heard and important. You'll often receive great and unexpected rewards when you demonstrate that you're genuinely interested in others and value their opinions. Number 3. An active listener is the best conversationalist. Want to become friends with the new guy at work? Interest him in open-ended questions about his work, his hobbies, etc. For that first impression, during conversations, ask people questions about their lives and interests, and pay heed to them without appearing distracted or uninterested. Sometimes we want other people to only listen to us carefully. Theodore Roosevelt used to study books dealing with his guests' favourite topics before a party. That way, he had an informed and pleasant chat with anyone about their preferred hobbies and interests. Share the limelight, ask questions, and listen attentively. It shows genuine interest. Before long, drawing people out will become second nature, and making friends will be a cinch. Give people what they want. Number 4. If you win an argument, you lose. If you lose in an argument, you also lose. You're wrong only means full-blown arguments. We humans believe that we're the only ones in the right. Therefore, we disobey others' viewpoints because we are tied to winning the argument. To win arguments, we tangle our opponents in argumentative knots, prove them wrong through facts and figures, or show some logical fallacy in their points. Then, when the focus should be on considering each viewpoint, we argue till we resent the other person. That way, the other party never understands you. Instead, they double down on their convictions and try their best to prove you wrong. So, how do you get someone who disagrees with you to cooperate? Make them listen? Be gentle with your approach. Listen to them. Rather than trying to prove your case by force, try to lead your opponent to your conclusions in a spirit of friendly inquiry. The trick is to just acknowledge the possibility that you might be wrong. And if you do, in fact, turn out to be wrong, be gracious in defeat, and try to be the first to admit your mistake. Owning up to your errors preemptively often makes others take a softer tack. And on the flip side, if you turn out to be correct, don't rejoice. Your opponent is unlikely to adopt a new opinion if you make it feel like a humiliation. Number 5. Be as affirmative as Socrates. Socrates, the ancient Greek philosopher, understood the fine art of persuasion. By asking the right questions in the right way, he convinced people to affirm things they'd never believed before. This means he got them into the habit of saying yes. And how did he do that? First, he began his conversations by making assertions everyone could agree with. Then, bit by bit, he shifted the conversations into more dubious territory. Finally, by foregrounding the points everyone could agree on, he made his audience more likely to accept the contentious arguments. He understood the people's emotional need to preserve their reputation for their intelligence, and sound judgment was on the line. Advancing your own ideas gives us a sense of independence, but on the other hand, accepting those of others can sometimes feel like taking orders. Instead, frame it as what motivates them. Number 6. See it from their perspective. We tend to see things only from our lens, and to understand someone else's viewpoint, it's essential to see things from their lens. So if we keep aside our thoughts and opinions for once, and truly see things from another person's perspective, we'll be able to convince them that it's in their best interest to do whatever it is we're after. Dale Carnegie explains this by introducing the character of Jay from an elevator maintenance company who comes to the hotel to do some repairs, which required shutting the elevator for longer than the manager was comfortable with. Understanding the gravity of his situation, Jay tried to explain himself with a polite approach. However, Jay knew that, more than anything, the manager wanted to please his guests. By recognizing that, he explained to the manager that delaying the repairs would be far more inconvenient for them in the long run. Trying to see things from someone else's perspective is always beneficial. Not only can it help resolve a tricky situation like Jay's, but it can also win people's favour and generate goodwill. You see, most people appreciate the sympathy, but sympathising with others doesn't just make them feel good, it can also help you manage frustration and impatience. By understanding the factors that make people act as they do, you can become more tolerant of behaviours that once irritated and upset you. Number 7. Generosity sets the bar higher than giving orders. Dale Carnegie suggests praising more than criticising because it yields better results. Our admiring words reward people for what they've already done and set a high benchmark for future performance. In other words, if you want someone to develop a particular characteristic, speak of them as though they already possess it. For example, if you'd like your child to be more generous, praise her for sharing with others. Set up an aspirational reputation for her as a warm and giving child. Praising others and letting them know that you appreciate their work is generous, but it's also a quick way of ensuring they'll try at least as hard in the future. If you can make a habit of it and combine it with other tips from this book, you'll soon have an easier time making new friends, improving old relationships, and creating new bonds. What's your most important key takeaway? Please comment down below and share the video if you like it. Thank you, and until next time.